Well, I'm Jackie Anderson. I'm 55 years old. I was born in Gibraltar in the 1960s. And then in the 1970s, my parents decided that they were going to move to the UK. So off we went, and I spent the next 35 odd years living and working, getting my education and most of my professional experience in the UK. I've also raised a family. I'm a very proud wife. I'm a mum of 6 children and a grandmother to 4 gorgeous grandchildren. Well, the 1960s, early 70s were a fascinating time, and I look back on it now with the understanding of what was going on at the time politically, the whole movements for self-determination. Like my family were, like most Gibraltarians, very, very engaged and quite political, and I think we have a sense of determination, resilience. There's a feeling in Gibraltar that we can do what we believe is right if we all put our minds to it and work together. And that's why I was so interested in Together Gibraltar, because it is the only political party since I came back from the UK that has a set of core values that so closely mirrors my own, and a sense of bringing the community together and listening to the community. That is something that I remember as a child, that people would spend time listening to each other. And that is a very, very strong and powerful value. There was a sense of respect, a sense of acceptance, and I feel that it's very important to really capitalise on that resilience, that determination, that creativity that Gibraltarians have to make something good out of a difficult situation. My first career was that of a professional housing officer in the UK. I worked for local government. I started off in a local housing office helping to house homeless people. And after a couple of years of that, it really opened your eyes. It taught me an enormous amount of the devastating effect of homelessness. And I don't mean just street homelessness. Homelessness is something that needs to be very carefully defined, particularly here in Gibraltar. It might mean that you live in a rat-infested, dripping with damp room where you would not keep an animal. That is homelessness. Having a roof over your head doesn't mean to say housed. So I did a lot of learning there. I took a professional degree. I have a BA in Housing Management and Development. I was a member of the Chartered Institute of Housing for a while. And I rose through the ranks of the public service, eventually going on to write and develop in a team policy and long-term housing strategy for that town that I lived in and worked in. It was a town of about 150,000 people, so it was in many ways a big challenge, and it was fascinating. It is my absolute passion. I think the 3 most important values that resonated with me from the Together Gibraltar values were the issue of equality and civil engagement and democracy. If we have a firm belief, as I have, that we are all equal, then we will all show each other mutual respect. That will underpin how we sustain our living in such a delicate ecosystem that we live in at the moment that is under so much threat. So that's a hugely important part of everything that I do and that I believe and that I work towards. It is absolutely essential, because without that we will not be here for that much longer. The science is very clear and I very firmly believe it. And it works hand in hand with that sense of equality and mutual respect. We respect each other. We will make sure that our wealth, everything that we generate, it's combined wealth. We all work in this together. It isn't just about incredibly wealthy people coming from abroad and buying lots of properties. We need to make sure that that wealth is fairly distributed and justly distributed and is generated in a way that sustains our lives for the long term. And I'm talking about hundreds of years into the future, not just the next 10, 15 years or the next 4 years to the next election. And to make that work, and because I've worked for 10 years in local government in the UK, I know how vital it is for everything that we do in public life to be totally accountable to the people that we're working for. And we're working for every man, woman and child on the street in Gibraltar on this rock. It is vital that everything that we do is put under scrutiny independently, and I'd really like to see some kind of public accounts committee, some kind of independent body that looks into every activity of government, because we are public servants. Governments, politicians are there for the community. If they're not, then that needs to be looked at.